Welcome back to Bob's Magic Emporium. Time for the next all-new The School of Magic. Classes in session every Friday on The School of Magic. Alright, today I have a trick that I'm not going to tell you the name of it quite yet, but it's a production trick, but you can also use it as a standalone magic effect too if you wanted. So let's get right into it. What I'm going to do is take these cards and just give them a little shuffle here. So let me do that. Alright, there's one, and I'll do it one more time. Just to prove they're not in any fancy order or anything like that. That's perfect. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these cards, and I'm going to make 4 piles here. And I'm just going to go and keep dealing cards on top of each pile until the deck is exhausted, until we run out of cards, just like this. All right? So we're going to go ahead and keep dealing cards until we have run out. And I'm almost there, just a few more cards left. And that is perfect. Okay, so we have now 4 piles of cards, and I'm actually going to go ahead and kind of straighten these up just a little bit here. All right, perfect. So what I'm going to do is wave my hand over all 4 cards, give them a snap, and when I do that, you can see that over here is the Ace of Diamonds, over here is the Ace of Spades, and there are the other 2 aces. Right there. And that is cutting to the, or dealing to the aces. Alright, so this is a very easy trick to do, and you can use this as a standalone magic effect and talk about how you're going to try to find the 4 aces. Or if you do a trick with aces, where you use the 4 aces, like maybe a Doc Daly's last card trick, you can use this as like a production to produce the aces. So let me go into this easy trick. All you have to do for this trick is get the 4 aces. You could use any 4 cards. You could, if you wanted to do like the 4 bank robbers trick, you could have the 4 jacks. This works with any 4 cards. I just use the aces because they're kind of the most magical cards in the deck. All you do to set this up is place them right on the table. The rest of the deck goes right on top. That's all you got to do to set this trick up. Pretty simple. So your setup is all the cards, and then the bottom 4 are the aces, or whatever 4 cards you want. So, if you want, if you're a really super beginner magician, you can just deal the cards on the table like this. But people, may think something's up. So you can do a false cut or false shuffle. The false shuffle that I used was a standard riffle shuffle. But instead of just doing like 1 card at a time like you're supposed to, I just took a group of cards, about like 7 or 8, something like that. Notice I got a big block of cards right there. And then I started doing the other side. What that does is it kept the block of the 4 aces on the bottom. So you could do it that way if you want. So again, it's just thumb a few cards off, at least 4, and then start on the other side and just keep thumbing like that. So that's pretty simple, and that keeps the 4 aces, like I say, right on bottom. All right, so you just keep doing that, and we'll do it one more time. All right, perfect. So now what you can do is, depending on how you're going to play this trick up, you can do it as, oh, watch this really cool magic trick I'm going to do. Boom, 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 and just start dealing them out. Or you can say, we need a couple of cards for this trick. I'm going to try to find them in a magical way. So you just keep dealing cards, 1 on top of each pile until the deck is exhausted. All right, so we just keep doing that. All right. Now, what it's just done is notice you have the 4 aces left in your hand, so you just deal them out, and the top card in each pile is going to be the 4 aces. You can turn them over and show that it's the 4 aces, which is really super cool. One other thing you can do is you can use a lot of sleight of hand work in this trick, because that's pretty simple. If you want a more advanced routine, what you can do is after you've done your fake shuffles and cuts, you can thumb off secretly 4 cards if you wanted to. So all you do for that is sort of like when you do a double lift. You just thumb off cards on the back, though, and you just count 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to shove your pinky in those 4 cards. Boom. Just like that. Shove them in the 4 cards, and from the front, it looks like nothing's where you're just holding the deck in your hand. From the back side, you can tell you've got a little bit, what we call in magic, a pinky break. So you've got yourself a pinky break there, and all you do is what you can do with this is you can just thumb off the top card like this and say, okay, what we're going to do, and what it looks like you've done is just thumb off the top one when you do it up to speed. Let me do that up to speed there. So all you do is you just thumb off the card like this, place the first one, and then you just keep dealing like this. So I'm not going to go through all of the cards. I'll just go through a few of them here. But what that has done is you can do, I'll go through all the cards. What you can do with that is you secretly loaded all 4 aces on the bottom of this pile right here. So what you could do is you could say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick a pile. All right, and we're going to use a pile here for this trick. So what I'd like for you to do, start off by saying to your spectator, pick 2 piles. So this is pretty simple. It's an equivoque. And what that is in Magic is Magician's Choice. I'm going to have you choose the pile I want you to choose, but you think you have complete control. So let's say the spectator does these 2 piles. You say, great, we'll get rid of these 2. If they say these 2 piles, you say, great, we'll get rid of these 2. Get rid of these 2, boom, or if they want to get rid of these 2. If they say this pile and this pile, you say, okay, great, because you chose those, we'll leave those in play, we'll get rid of these 2. If they choose these 2, you could say, great, we'll get rid of these 2. So whatever, obviously, if they choose the pile with the 4 aces in it, you say, okay, great, we'll get rid of the other 2. So we'll say that they have gotten rid of, we'll say we get rid of these 2. So we got rid of these 2, and then you can say, okay, now this time we're going to get down to 1 pile, so choose one of these piles. And then they'll say this one. If they say this one, you say, great, we'll get rid of that one. If they say this one, we'll say, great, we'll get rid of it. Simple as that. And basically you're forcing them on this pile with the aces. At the start here, you could do choose 1 pile, but if they choose this pile, then you got to say, great, we'll get rid of that one, choose 1 again, and it's a little bit more. That way, if you do 2 piles, choose 2, they can get rid of these 2, and then choose 1, they'll leave that in play. And then you could say, great, so you made all the decisions in this trick. You picked the piles you wanted. Turn over this pile. They turn it over and say, deal off the 4 top cards. And they deal them off, and they're the aces. So the spectator thinks that they had complete control, and that's a little thing you can do with that as well. And you can also rework it as well, and you could use it and kind of have, you know, a good idea or something like that. So that is cutting to the aces. Hope you guys enjoyed the little trick, and I'll see you next Friday for an all-new The School of Magic. More. Do you know how to mix up cards? You say, you are not cards. You are not cards. You get the 2 tubes, and you get a certain amount of bottles. Let me grab one of the real and usable. You're probably talking like $100 trick. So that's why. And it's a real... Their selected card will say there's the King of Diamonds, goes right on the table. And all